Welcome to the doghouse. Like an old lady, I got to get all situated here. Me and my curly hair. This is just about a bunch of BS. Nothing big here. Just here out having some fun. Enjoying my hairdo and got to get my hair cut, obviously, here. Maybe I'll get a mohawk and I'll have pink mohawk or pea green mohawk. Yeah, that'd work. An old man with a mohawk. What more could you ask for? Can I use you guys' phone number for all these scammers? I hate that. Wednesday and Friday, I get a lot of them. But I'll appreciate it if you guys take my spam calls for me. This is just going to be about whatever, wherever, and whenever. It's not going to be about anything most of you even think about. I'm going to start out with some stupid things I've seen, heard, and actually has been done. This thing of going woke, these companies, they will never ever learn. You have Target was bad, Bud Light was bad, and they went for a different crowd, different everything, because they think they know better than the public. Both failed, both got hurt. Now Cracker Barrel's jumping in, changing their sign and saying it needs to be this and that. And when you listen to that lady that's running it now, you just got to sit there and scratch your head about what she was talking about. It was all about the managers and all that. Very little to do with the people coming in their store. They are so not in touch with their people. It is sad. All three of them going down the wrong road. Cracker Barrel actually lost money on their stocks because of what was going on. They took a big hit and they're still going to take a big hit. But I don't get it. They've seen two, or there's been more than two. All these people that went woke and all that and see themselves dive, and you're still going to do it, but you're not basing it off of the people that'll go there. You figure you can control them by whatever you do. Changing their sign, that's stupid. But all three of them companies are doing something like, a guy takes a leak in the wind, obvious it blows back. These companies think if they move over 3 feet, they won't get it again. And they try it again and again and again. And they keep trying it. And they will not give up on trying it. They know what it's all about. And they're going to do everything possible because they think they know. They forget it's a consumer out there, not their managers, not your ideal situation in life, whatever you want it to be. And I'm not criticizing it. I'm not criticizing anybody's sexual preference. I'm not criticizing who or what or anything else. But when you forget to listen to your public, you have a problem. You have a big problem. But they all do this. And, a lot of companies, they go out, they think they know without actually going out to the public to see. How many times has a beverage company decided they're going to make a change in their product and they get slapped in the face because they relied upon all the upper management and stuff, and it turns out it wasn't so good. And this is a very, very common practice with the big companies. Another thing I want to touch on here is I see people come on here, they just hate. Their whole world is to hate. They have no responsibility but hate. I know that don't make sense, but they don't. They don't have no responsibility to hate. And when you hate, you have no responsibilities. You do, but in your mind, you don't. You go out, you're willing to hate people and destroy people for your own benefit. And it's sad that we do this. I don't do it, but a lot of people do. And I'm sure every one of you out there has seen it, the hate, how much hate there is in this world. There is so much hate in this world. It's just a shame that it happens. I'd like to see less hate and more love. That's just me because I love people. I love what people do, are the most of the people. And I really do. I want to see more love in our country than hate. It is so much better in our lives if we have that love. Yes, we're not going to like everybody. That's just human nature. But when you fill your heart with hate, you're going to miss out on so much in your life. You won't even realize what you're missing out on when you have that hate and discontent in your heart. You don't know how to go forward. You're not going to go forward because you don't know how to control it. And that's sad. And it goes from generation to generation. Some do a better job, some don't in their minds, but it's something that's always existed and always will exist. But that don't mean you have to participate in it. You can be better than that, and you should be better than that. And I hope most of you are better than that. I honestly try to be, but you know, sometimes it just don't work out. That's a not an excuse, but that's just what we do. We come into this life happy, although most of us cry at first, but we are a happy people overall, and that's what we should be achieving in our lives. We shouldn't look on the bad that happens. We should always look forward to what good is out there. I wish more people did do good. No, I'm not a saint or nothing, but I know when a person does good, that's better off for everybody. You don't even have to like somebody to be do good for them. Maybe doing good for them is walking away and not saying nothing. You don't every time you hate somebody, you don't have to cause a conflict, but we will and we do. It's sad we go down that road, but we're going to go down it on a constant basis. Other things, you know, that bother me, maybe shouldn't bother me, but really bothers me is when people say they're a Christian and they're not. I don't care if they are or not, but when you use that Christianity to gain money, ego trips, and all that, that's not Christianity. If you go out there and say, I'm doing this because God did it and this is why He did it, well, first off, you're not God. You don't go under that. You go under His leadership. You are not the same as God. If you believe in God, even if you don't believe in God, you have to admit there's people out there that will use Christianity and any other religion to gain profits, and they always will. It's sad, but they go out and they do it. It kind of bothers me when people do that. And like I said, I don't care if somebody a Christian, not a Christian, or whatever. That is 100% their business. But you don't use a religious aspect of something so you fill your pockets more. Sometimes I think we need to revert back to a kid on things. I think sometimes we had a better perspective in life when we were kids. And it's interesting how we have forgotten about that. We're supposed to grow. We're kids. We learn and grow, which we do. But sometimes when we grow and we are grown, we forget how we got there and what we learned. Because some kids out there seem to have a little bit more going for them than the adults do. Sad but true. You know, and I've been listening to, I got just this, a few people on here. Some are good people, and they really are, the most part. Some get treated like trash, which they shouldn't. But, these platforms has brought more information to people, and that's the good end of these platforms. They go out, you can have a choice of what you want to do and how you want to do it. You go out and enjoy life on what you see, you learn stuff, and you gain knowledge. Then, on the other hand, you also learn how to hate, be disrespectful, and how to get on here to make money and not be respectful. Respect has left our country, left our humanity. We need to get that respect back. We need that respect, not for us as individual, but for everyone. Once you gain that respect and have that respect, some of the hate you have out there will disappear because nobody wants hate, but they're willing to go down that road. And hate is a simpler way to get things done in your eyes if you're a hateful person. And it's sad because hate only brings more hate. People that hate one another, and like I said, we all have people we dislike, but when you literally go out there and hate somebody just to be hating, and some people do that, it's a shame that that happens. You know, I grew up not to hate. My parents had people that they didn't really care for, but there was no hate there. And if we, as a child, even if that person they didn't care for, if we walked up to them and showed disrespect and hate to them, we would have been in one in trouble because you didn't go out there and do that. And it's sad, but true again. We forgot how to respect people. And I don't know how we get back to respecting people. Not all of us go down that road. But when you got can come on a platform, make money by hate, you're going to do it. And let's face it, hate creates money. And it really does create money. Look at a wrestling organization. You think they would even be in existence if there was no hate involved? They wouldn't, because people actually want to see hate. They want to see the violence. Even though it's scripted, That idea is in your head. Oh, I got to watch this or I got to do that. And I used to watch a lot of wrestling. I don't anymore. I'll come on here and do a clip or something and watch it. But hate is something that, for whatever reason, is instilled in our brains. Whether we want to or not, we'll find something with controversy and watch it. Whether it's on YouTube or any of the other platforms, on TV, neighbors, it don't matter. Hate gets our attention. It's sad, but it really does get our attention. It should not, but we fall into that category. It's a shame that that happens, but I don't know what you can do about it, but control what you know and what you can do and what you need to do, because you can't hate the whole world. You can't go out and hate. You destroy yourself when you're out there hating. You go out there and hate, you're the one that's being destroyed because you don't know how to react to the hate. You will destroy yourself. Hate, everybody could make an excuse to hate. There's no doubt. But let's talk about some good stuff we do. Can you imagine some of the stuff as kids we thought of if we would have grown up and did them? We would have been in so much trouble. At least I would have. I could come up with all kinds of things living out on the ranch to do. Most of them was stupid, but I had to try things. Like, going out in our garden with the dog, and I wasn't even that old, but go out in the garden with the dog and we'd eat the peas and carrots. Yeah, we got in trouble, but we still ate them. And that was fun, but not fun, that was wrong to do that, but as a kid, you're trying, your parents are trying to teach you, and that's one thing, don't go there, don't do that. It's so funny what we do as kids, though, and growing up. One place we had this wood cook stove. It sat quite a ways away from the wall, and I wasn't even in school yet, probably two or three. And I'd go behind the cook stove because it's warm. My parents did not have to worry about me touching that stove. I was so afraid of that stove for the heat, but I would go behind it and lay down. Well, me and this dog, little tiny dog we had, always had a problem. And I guess one day, and I don't remember it, but my parents do. But one day I was having a problem with this dog. It nipped at me because we both wanted behind the wood cook stove. I guess I latched onto that dog with my teeth when he did that, and my mom had a heck of a time getting me to release it. Pissed me off. That dog nipped at me. It really didn't bite me. But after that, I'd go behind there and the dog would leave. Outside of that, we were buddies. But when it come to behind the wood cook stove, we weren't buddies. We become enemies who got to be behind there. We go through and do all this stuff as kids. Another thing we did, we had an apple orchard, and there was a little hill, but not very heavy or not very steep, but you could get a trike to roll down it. And there used to be this apple tree right dead center when you come off of there. We used to take this really old tricycle and we'd run into the tree with it. We'd go up that hill a little bit. And like I said, it wasn't very steep, but you could roll down it pretty good and hit that tree. We never It wasn't where you could get really, really fast. Well, we thought that was cool to run that trike in that old tree. It was a really old bike, so it was a sturdy thing. I think all of us kids gone on it a time or two and hit that tree. Of course, we'd have been in trouble if our mom or dad figured out what we were doing, because that would have been a big no no. And, growing up, we do all kinds of stuff as kids. Kids will be mean to each other as siblings, but we grow out of it. We love each other. We even loved each other back then. But we definitely would try to figure out who had the advantage over who. I remember this one time, one of my older sisters was watching us, and Dad started this. They went to the store, which is about 20 miles away, by the way, but they went to the store, and my sister was babysitting four of us. Let's see, yeah, four of us. I had to stop and count. And there was this really heavy set guy. I mean, he didn't believe in taking baths or nothing. And my dad did set this up. He encouraged this guy to go ask my sister out for a date. He comes to the house, and believe me, even us kids could smell him. But he comes to the house and tries to get my sister to go out on a date with him. And all four of us are encouraging my sister to go out and go out on a date with him. Boy, was she ever mad when he left. But all four of us was willing to take care of ourselves. You just go out on a date with him. See, were just encouraging our older sister. She didn't think it was funny. Then when Dad heard what happened, he just started laughing. That's when he told my sister that he was encouraging to come over. So my dad did have a sense of humor. We all had fun like that though growing up. Another thing I did was mean but funny later on. My sister and one of her friends come over and they was going to do hair dye. Each of them was doing different colored hair. I accidentally switched the bottles around and they were just dumbfounded what was going on because their hair color wasn't what they thought it should have been. Of course, I'm a little brother, so I can do this kind of thing. At least I thought. But they were so distraught of what went on with their hair color. And I'm the one that caused it. Never did tell them until several years ago, and I told my sister what had happened. Then another thing we used to do as kids, we had this corrals have really shallow water in it, a creek going through it. We weren't supposed to go out and play in it, but after we got through, I'd get tired and go to the house. I'd change out of my wet clothes and I'd go to mom and go, Mom, where's them other kids? I only did that because she wasn't hitting them with it. Get a willow and act like she was going to hit them, and they'd run back to the house, and she'd chase them back to the house, and I'd sit under the tree laughing. And common sense would tell you it was me that did it, but they were too busy blaming each other. They didn't blame me. But then, that's kid stuff. You should grow out of that at some point in your life, but a lot don't. They go on and on. We had so much fun though as kids. I'm having fun now. I mean, for the most part, I have to go through things, obviously. Like Monday, my wife had a total knee replacement. She's home now. They only kept her overnight. But geez, I have to get up, help her off out of the chair into the bathroom. She can go by herself and that. When she gets through, I got to help her off the toilet. And when she goes to bed, that's not too bad because the bed's just the right height. And she sits on it and swings the legs off onto the bed. And they got this weird machine. She puts her leg in at night and it does the exercise for her. Interesting. It's hard on me. It's been like since Monday, but it seems like a whole month. I don't go nowhere. I go for coffee in the morning and home and take care of everything around here. I'm not complaining about it. A lot of people would be all upset, and I'm upset it happens, but I'm not upset I have to be here. Nothing I could do about it, nothing my wife can do about it. So it's just the way it is. So I just sit back and look at the overall perspective. It's been a little rough on her this year. I mean, 2 months earlier, she had her gallbladder removed, but it's all well and fine. We still go forward and press forward in life, and that's all good. But we move on, we learn, regardless of our age. We adjust when we have to adjust. And that's a big thing right there. We all can adjust what we do. Whether we want to or not, sometimes we just have to. And I I'm here. She has it isn't bad right now, Alzheimer's besides all that, but we still go forward in life. The funny thing is though, our coon hound, he'll go outside for a while, wander around, then he's right back in the house, right beside her or close by her. He will not leave her alone for nothing when she is in the front room. He knew something was wrong and he protects her, which is good. He might be, I don't, well, maybe not quite 2 years old. We got him when he was a little less than a year old. But things like that happen, you know, her being the way she is. And that dog, though, I love it that he knew something was wrong and still knows something's wrong. So animals are nice. I love animals. I really do. I've spent my life around animals, literally my life around them. I love cats. I love dogs. Got 2 cats and 2 dogs. 2 cats were outside, kind of caught. They were feral cats. And I got them unstuck where they were at. They would never got out. Then I brought them in the house and was going to give them away. That didn't happen. We all go out. We all do stuff like that, I guess. We convince ourselves of one thing, and in reality, it turns out to be something completely different. But back to some other stuff. You know that I hate insurance. I love it because it helps us and we use it. But this year, between two of us, we're still $3,000 out of our own pocket to cover things other than what the insurance covered. Kind of steep, but it's the way it is. So insurance isn't all it's cracked up to be at some times. Now, if you want to go, because I'm on Medicare, I go to Plan G, which is 89 plus dollars a month, which is cheaper than the regular insurance, but still stiff. That'd be for two of us. That'd be $180 because it does go up all the time. $180 a month to cover that for two of us. But there's always something in our lives that come up and we have to take care of. We don't need to go out and hide our head in the sand and not make things better for us. Regardless of what comes up, we always have to find a way to improve ourselves. And the way to do that is go forward and not backwards. The only reason you'd want to go backwards is for perspective of what didn't go right and improve on it. But you always want to go forward in life, regardless of your age. You always want new challenges, regardless of your age. So we all need to do that. Just go out, enjoy life, enjoy ourselves, enjoy the people around us, because that's how we achieve things in life. Well, I just wanted to get on here for a minute. I'm trying different stuff out because I'm a poor boy and I have to do poor things to get on here. One day it might be different. I do mostly short, so this is just a side thing I do. It's fun, and I've met so many good people on here. I've met more good people than bad. I got a couple of relatives that hang out on here once in a while. All the rest I don't know. I have no clue who they are, but they're still friends, and we can sit and talk, and I don't discriminate against them in any way, shape, or form. They are who they are, and I'm who I am. They will go forward in life, and I'm going to go forward in life. But you can find so many good people on here. Everything can improve, but there is a whole bunch of good people doing good things out here. That's all I have to say. See y'all later.